Back to recording, we could, and I'm gonna turn it down. I emailed it to everybody. Yeah, I couldn't update the one online because I don't have access. However, you only posted it as a meeting here.
Yes.
So we still are fine for the public because it was only posted here.
We have 5 members for a
Five,
town,
right,
right?
for the,
Town team, so that's enough, right?
I think we need 6, yeah.
We need 6.
Let me just go text, Dave and look, tell him to look at his.
Email, yeah. I'll text, what do I have as text? Garrett, let's see who else. No, Kristen's not coming. Principal said she wasn't coming.
Did you email it to?
I just replied.
Wasn't Noreen, did Noreen say she would come to you?
She said only if it was still zoomed.
Yeah, I just sent it out to
To
her.
her?
I just sent it out to the group.
You think it's?
Wait,
Wait a minute, you need six.
oh, wait, draft.
6, yeah, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it.
You got six. Here we go.
We have 6. How was your number?
Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, right. I was sitting there trying to hide. Okay.
Yeah, we have 6.
Yeah, we got
That's
6.
your number.
Yeah, yeah.
We have 6.
Where'd you get going on? 'Cause
Yeah.
I gotta
Yeah,
leave at
6:30.
6:30, so.
Okay. Call for order at 5:38. John Leonard Walker, Emergency Management Director for
You can see.
Town of Shutesbury, and some emergency management meeting tonight. We go around and introduce ourselves.
Sure. Rita Farrell, co-chair of the Shutesbury Select Board.
Eric Stalker, Select Board.
Tom?
Oh,
Introduce
Tom
yourself.
Seifert, I thought you
Yeah,
meant the
Tom.
committee,
Yeah.
Tom Seifert.
Yeah, we skipped the gentleman to your left.
Bill?
Bill Gilmore, Mass DCR Forest Fire Control. Bill Gilmore,
Bill, thank you.
DCR Forest Fire Control.
We were gonna come back to Phil.
Yeah.
Oh, Leslie Bracebridge, member and clerk.
Let's make you so Neil co-chair like work.
And Howard Kendra, Dan, and Mark Rose.
All right, do we have any old business to talk about, other than what's not on the agenda? Okay.
I couldn't open that, some document, I don't know whether
It's big. so you
It's
need
really
that.
big. It opened like the second time
80 pages.
Yeah.
I emailed it to myself and I was able to open it.
Yeah, the second
You're
time
also
I
the
did, the
author,
first time it
too,
wouldn't
so
open,
that-
and then the second
I
time I
just
don't know why it
forwarded it
opened.
from
Yeah.
Nathan Moreau.
Did
so-
you
really download it too?
I did.
Yeah,
If
but
you-
downloaded.
your computer remembers that.
Take it, my
Yeah.
own.
So that's,
I've loved it.
it's a
Unlimited.
quirk.
Yeah.
I didn't try, actually, I did not try to open.
Yeah, but that's something later on the list. Yeah, let's start with number 4 here, fire warden Bill Gilmore, DCR. Talk about the Firewise program that possibly we could do in Shutesbury.
I was approached by the homeowners, the Lake Homeowners Association back in November. They were interested, I think, because of a lot of the things that were going on in the country at the time. But what they could do to protect their homeowners' properties and kind of cut back the possibility of getting a major wildfire in the town of Shutesbury. And it probably hit at about the best time ever because we had so much going on in the country. And we were actually experiencing a drought in Massachusetts at that time, last fall, which kind of extended right through the winter into late winter, I should say. We've since, with the rain that we've gotten in the last few weeks, kind of dropped back on the drought, level. We still are in a level 2 drought, which is kind of a moderate thing. If things hold the way they're afraid of, is that we may drop right back into a critical state of drought. And then anywhere in the next month, in 30 days. We'll see what happens weather-wise. You really can't predict what happens, when it comes to Mother Nature. but it's always wise, and I agree completely with people that want to be a little bit proactive when it comes to this kind of stuff. So this Firewise program was started out in the western part of the country, I'm gonna say better than 20 years ago, and it kind of went through California and moved its way east slowly. We've been in it in Massachusetts for about 20 years. It's mainly been done down on the coast, Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, Cape Cod. Now it's actually extending up into the northeast, part of the state because of wildfires they've had for the last couple of years up near Rockport and Gloucester. They've had some pretty nasty fires up there. We don't get the real large fires like up in the western part of the country where you're talking tens of thousands of acres on one fire. If we get 1,000 acres going in Massachusetts, that's a major wildfire for us. And we had one in Great Barrington last fall because of the drought conditions. The first couple of nights that firefighters, the municipal firefighters, as well as the state firefighters were up there, they did have a wildland urban interface situation. And wildland urban interface, what we call WUI, is where we have human improvements butted right up close to the forest lands, where a forest fire could really kind of spread through the houses pretty quickly, depending on the conditions. So anytime we talk about drought conditions, we're concerned. Things get so dry that you can pretty much drop a match and things can go. And if we get windy conditions in with that drought, then it turns into a really extreme fire danger day. Our main line of defense is our fire towers. We try to get these fires as quickly as we can when they're small, try to put them out. Sometimes that works, most of the time that works, sometimes it doesn't. So if we can prepare ahead of time, like what this Firewise program does, is we educate, if you will. We let the homeowners, the communities know that there are certain things that they can do with their property around their homes to reduce the risk of fire spreading from the forest into their house. It's not foolproof, it's not 100% a safeguard, because when flaming fire, what we call fire embers, are transported by windy conditions and drought conditions, spot fires happen, numerous spot fires will happen very quickly. And when, just like, if you follow the news in Palisades, California, when that fire was spreading through there, that's basically what was spreading that fire. When these flaming embers were flowing ahead of the fire, dropping down into dry fuels and on top of houses and starting houses on fire. There isn't enough fire trucks and firefighters to protect all of it. You know, there was a lot of finger pointing going on in California, but if you're aware of what happens on fires like that, there isn't any one person to blame. It's gonna happen. So this program is beneficial, is very valuable, and I promote it highly for people to become aware of the dangers of just a pile of leaves next to their house, what that can pose on their lives. So the Firewise program is, like I said, a community educational program that we try to meet with the residents, and give them a little bit of information, what we call defensible space around their homes. And we like to see at least 30 feet, if not 75 feet, of trying to clear away any really flammable material that may spread the fire and bring it to the home. So, we make it community because it's a big job. And if we have everybody doing it, or at least many people in the community doing it, taking care of their own homes, it makes the job that much easier. We can't rely on our town DPWs to do that kind of work. They have more than enough work that they have to take care of. But if they're interested and if they're able, they can assist the homeowners with this, okay? Homeowners might have a bunch of brush that they cut down or they get rid of around their homes, but they don't have any way of getting rid of it. We can get them to pile it up close to the sides of the roads. Maybe the highway crew can come through and either chip it or haul it away. Those are the kinds of things that we try to promote, is that community interaction. And because of the Lake Homeowners Association, they were the ones who really looked for it. But when I met up here the last time, was that a select board meeting we were at the last time we were here?
Select well advisory committee.
That was the homeowners. So they we brought up, the chief and myself brought up the fact that we don't really want to do a program like that just for the homeowners of Lake Loyola. That we wanted to make sure that the town of Shutesbury was aware of it. And I guess that's why I'm here, is to make sure that you're on board with it. If you think it's good for the rest of the town, we can talk about that. Usually what we do is we bring in people like myself that work for DCR. It could be patrolmen, it could be seasonal employees that are educated in the program. And we can go through and point out home by home, if that's what it takes. And give them a check sheet of the different things that they can do to protect their home. Whether it be clearing brush or making sure that a propane tank isn't really up close to the house and is clearly identified. We even get down to the point where if you've got a ground septic system that you don't want a fire truck driving over, we identify that. So we don't want to ruin their septic tank, but we don't want to ruin our trucks either. So those are the kinds of things that to us are basic stuff and it's what we look for. But the homeowners just need to be aware of that and they can help out a lot, protecting their homes and their neighbors' homes. After that meeting we had, I took a drive through because I hadn't been out here in years, out in the outskirts of Lake Loyola, and I couldn't believe some of the new construction of homes that you have out here. Big, beautiful homes, but all splashed together. My folks come from the eastern, or my dad's family lives down the eastern part of the state, down near Cape Cod. Not on the island, thanks goodness, because I hate that traffic going over the bridge, but we go down to the summer home, it looks just like that. And the homes are just squashed together. They just built them within 10 and 20 feet of each other. And that's where you get the palisades, where you get fire going through a community like that. It doesn't take much for fire spread from house to house to house. That's what we want to try to avoid. So coming up by the lake again this afternoon, I kind of looked down by the dam and up, that immediate bunch of houses right in there, and I'm thinking, and I rode through there. Access and egress is going to be an issue for that. If you've got to evacuate people out of close quarters like that, in smoky conditions, heaven forbid, fire conditions, where you've got fire lapping across the road, people are going to panic. And an evacuation plan is part of this firewise thing. We try to come up with a better way of getting people out of harm's way if we can. So there's a lot to it, but it's something that we can walk through and work through. So yes, that's about it in a nutshell, without really getting into the dynamics of the force. What I think I would like to do with the homeowners, because they were the ones that approached us, is to meet with them either virtually or in person. And I'm gonna have our program manager, his name is Alex Below, come out. He's from down in the Plymouth area. And he's kind of our manager of this program. He's the guy I go to for the information and the materials and stuff. He's more than willing to meet on a Zoom meeting with the homeowners and try to get it kicked off that way. Probably wouldn't do an in-person type home assessment thing until after our spring fire season. Because right now our priority is manning those fire towers and responding to fires. Once we get out of that, then we can start doing the in-person type stuff.
Okay. So first will be the meeting of the class.
Yep.
And will you go to every house on the lake, or will you go?
Only the ones that want us to
Only
do
the
it.
houses that want.
And I think that's why it's good that we have this virtual meeting where he gets people that may not be here right now. I guess they kind of come in for the summer. Kind of like down on the coast.
Yeah.
You have all the transits come in. So, yeah, I think that would be a good thing, and see how many actual people that are interested in this. Believe me, we want to make sure that they're aware of it. Even if we go up to the parts of Shutesbury, if other parts want to do it, you don't want to blindside these people where all of a sudden they see people dressed in kind of uniform stuff and they're marching through people's properties and checkboard, clipboard and checking off things. It's just, that does not make for a good day.
Make for busy phone days for us anyway.
Question. So does it make sense to offer this townwide rather than?
I think so.
If you're gonna go to all the trouble to kind of do the orientation and give people checklists. I mean, we could do it by neighborhood, but that doesn't really make any sense for you to repeat it multiple times.
Well, the only one that's really tight for a neighborhood is the
If
lake.
the meeting's
Everybody else-
recorded,
Yeah,
we could send it out to anybody in town and, hey, if you want your property evaluated,
right,
we'll get on the list.
right. Well, or just offer, if it's a Zoom thing, I'm just thinking about Montague Road, for example, and that's pretty densely developed, not nearly as densely developed as down at the lake. But it's a lot more wooded right up to all those
Yeah, the
properties.
forest is there.
Yeah, it's right there, and they had fire in Leverett, I think, last year.
Sure.
So it's conceivable
Yeah.
that could happen again, I mean, the same. Yeah, the lake cottages, you know what happened, they were all like summer cottages, and a lot of people have converted them to year-round houses
Yes.
and put a lot of money into, so they were always
Sure
very,
have.
very
Yeah.
tight, you know, it was always a very,
Very tight.
you know, little cottages, and they'd come for the summer, and then, but now it's really has changed. But yeah, so it's great that the Lake Wyola Association took the lead on that, but I think it would be
I do too.
good to offer it more broadly.
I think so, because, I mean, I'm thinking even on where I live, and you too, Rita, where you live, you're in dense wooded
Yes.
area, I'm in a
Yep.
dense wooded area.
You're on a hill.
Huh?
You're on a hill, so.
Yeah, right, so, you know, so it can't hurt to have more people educated, because it'd be more of a town-wide thing, like you were saying, and more people might get on board
Yep.
with the context, so I think they would benefit from having that first step. You know, even if there's some information there they can glean, and they don't necessarily want to go to the home visit part, but they
Right.
have some information.
But just, I mean, you were talking about having a checklist.
Yeah.
Right,
Yes.
for like a homeowner,
For the
say,
homeowner
okay,
to do.
I don't have dry brush, or I don't have
Right.
piles of leaves up against
Yep.
my front door, and I remember all the California people, a lot of them who didn't lose their houses had big clearings, you know, around
Some
their
rock.
house, and concrete, you know,
Yes.
it's very barren,
Right.
not what we're used to, but,
Yeah.
They still got their house,
what's that?
but they still got their
Yes,
house.
Right,
their house,
right.
Yes, yeah, so can you, I know it says Alex
Alex below.
below.
Mhm.
So so we could have like a session where he does like a PowerPoint or something, and then we invite,
I believe he does, yes, I believe he does the PowerPoint, might just talk about it, I'm not sure, but I will contact him this week, see if
okay,
we can set something up.
Okay.
I'll talk with the chief, and we'll try to come up with a common date where we can actually do this, and he doesn't mind doing it at night, doesn't have to be during the day.
okay,
So, he's an okay speaker, he stutters a lot, and I shouldn't say that, but, you just have to be a little patient with it, it takes a little bit for him to get it out. But he's good at it, and he does cover all the important stuff, so that's good.
and do you need anything from them? So Melissa and Eric and I are on the select board, do you need anything from us, or is your contact with Lenny sufficient? I mean, it's something we should put on our agenda for
Yeah.
Tuesday,
We
just
could,
to
yeah, we could talk
say
about
we've
it.
had this
Yeah.
discussion,
Sure.
and that we're
We're
anticipating
behind the ideas.
doing this, we're behind it, kind of everybody stay tuned, we'll come up with some dates.
And then we can put out a town announce, probably is the best option.
Right, once we figure out the timing. And then if you have literature, I don't know if there's. or-
That's where Alex will come in, he will come in
Oh,
with
okay.
brochures, I've got one of each that I've been kind of studying myself. I
Okay,
did this years ago, and it changed everything since I did it.
okay,
So, we did one for the Edenbrook School last spring, I believe it was. Because they have this, unique, if you've ever been up there, I haven't been up there in years, I grew up in Deerfield. I couldn't believe how they had just built right into the slope of that mountain.
Yeah, they do.
And
Yeah.
all the ball fields are down below, which kind of turned into dry grass in drought conditions. And you get a fire starting down there, and you've got a westerly wind pushing it up there, they could lose everything. So it's not as drastic as it sounds, but the potential is there. So I was really glad they reached out for it. That's a smaller, tight-knit community that we can get done pretty quickly. We did one day of structure assessments going around in the buildings, and they put it right into their emergency management action. So that's something that you might be able to use in your EMA. It's there, you've done it. I know FERCog for several years, we're hitting a lot of communities like Shutesbury, Leverett, the kind of hilly areas that potentially had a wildfire risk, and they were really kind of promoting getting into the emergency action plan. So, I think it's beneficial all the way around. It brings attention to our people, knowing that this community is trying to do something
proactive.
corrected,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
You know, I think it's kind of interesting, for all the years I've been on various groups, I've never seen anything in building permitting that addresses, you know, Board of Health, Conservation. The planning boards don't really have it in their, bylaws, zoning bylaws. I've never thought of this before, but, it may be something to.
I may be making an assumption, but I think you've been around as long as I have. And you know what happens is when we don't have bad fire seasons, people tend to forget about it.
Yeah,
And we used to have really big fires back in the forties and the fifties. And you know, when I talk about that to young students, they, forties and fifties, that's like,
What century?
yeah, exactly. But they don't understand that
things.
it happens.
Yeah,
And,
things
you know,
have
you
changed.
can blame climate change, you can blame global warming, you can blame anything you want. But this planet will do different things. It just changes. It's a definitely dynamic thing that always continually changes.
And I'm
And-
suggesting that maybe the executive team here would want to alert the planning board that this might be what are future thoughts about.
It's a good point. That's a very good point. Be a little proactive, you know, and maybe lot size, building lot size.
We do have
We
2
are
acres.
2
don't we?
acres now,
Yeah.
but everybody wants to be in the woods.
It's
Which has been overridden in some cases. by-
Well, it will be. It's definitely one of those, that you're changing a social norm that
It's,
people don't like.
it's more so having a clear yard away from the
Right.
forest. So no matter how big your lot is, if you don't have a lawn,
Right.
and you have trees going right up to your house,
Right.
I mean, yeah, that's,
And Shutesbury used to be a lot more open.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
a
Like,
fire.
it's reforested, like, you know, you walk around my house and there's stone walls, that was all
Clear.
open once upon a
If you
time.
see pictures of Shutesbury, you
Yes.
can see all the way to Amherst, because in the forties, we had no trees.
Yep,
Right.
there's nothing.
Which is
nothing.
why the forest fires probably started.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So just to give you an example, recent example in this area, in the town of Northfield last spring, we had a fire on the slope on Mountain Road, and it started because of a down power line, and it was dry conditions, the towers were up. Thank goodness the fire towers spotted it, we had a really quick early response. And it started, and everything is where we look at this from a science aspect, when you have the winds lined up in the right direction, the slope lined up in the same direction, and your fuels are in the right condition for it. We had all 3 of them lined up. It was definitely a high fire danger day. And when that power line dropped on the southwest slope of a hill, and all the slope was uphill from that start, that fire spread through dry oak and maple leaves that is almost as volatile as California chaparral when it comes to burning, the intensity that it burns. It spread so fast that it really, 2 homes were above that. And if they had been 5 minutes later on their response, they very well could have lost at least one of those homes. So that's what we call the urban interface. It wasn't a whole neighborhood, but it was 2 homes. And it was very traumatic for the homeowner of the second home that was up on top, and that's where I went. And we had a structural fire department, truck positioned right next to the house in their driveway, letting down all the vegetation that had grown up right close to that, because that woman really liked to have all the vegetation close to the home. And all of it was burning right toward the house. And they were able to wet everything down around that in very smoky condition. I have to give the town firefighters, and I have been ever since then, giving them accolades for their bravery and their tenacity to stay there through smoky conditions you couldn't see, just to protect that house. And they saved both of those houses. So they didn't burn any structures down or anything. It turned out to be about a 6-acre fire, which isn't very big. When you got 2 homes in the middle of it, it becomes a very big type of fire. So it can happen here. We don't have that chaparral stuff. We've got scrub oak and pitch pine out on the mountain plains, but you don't see very much of it out here on the mountainside. But it's those deciduous leaves that really turn into light flashing fuel that can spread fire very quickly.
so do you want to get back to us, after you have spoken with Alex?
Yes.
And,
I'd like to set it up with him, have him give me a few dates, and I'll get a hold of
Okay.
the chief.
Yeah.
And we can work out couple of days.
Okay.
And see what we can come up with.
Okay, that would be great.
I think the homeowners, the Lake Association would really like to do this before Memorial Day, try to reach out to as many of the homeowners that will be coming in. And virtually is the best way to get a hold of them before they actually show up. And the assessments probably won't happen until after everybody gets here.
And Lenny, do you have copies of the brochures or anything that you can
I
forward?
only have a couple pamphlets.
Okay,
Here.
okay,
Zoom.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
I emailed them out.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Oh, did you?
Did you send it to
Should the meeting?
That's right, I'll send,
I didn't send EMT, I realized, you know, that back then you were just.
I will scan.
I will try to get as much of the material. as
Yeah,
quickly
that
as
would be
can.
great. I just think for the select board, it's just an opportunity, a select board meeting, for us to talk about it, and then, you know, people watch and come to our meetings, so it's starting.
Okay.
To get the word out.
Presentation with, Alan, should that be on like a weeknight?
He's pretty much open to any time we can make it work. What would be better for you folks?
Doesn't
I
matter
don't
for
think
me.
a weekend, I think, yeah,
I'm just thinking if we're getting as many people to watch it,
right.
you know, from the.
But it would be
lake and stuff.
recorded, right?
It would be
So,
recorded, yeah. So, it would be any time would be fine with me, I'm just trying to think.
yeah,
of
let's
actual
find his,
number of people
his
to be here.
availability.
What
Yeah.
are our limits to Zoom now? Do we supposed to?
We have up to 300.
Three, I thought it was 300, okay, good, I know we changed it.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. for,
Okay, thank you very
coming.
much.
I really
Okay.
appreciate it.
Looking forward to working with you.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
fine.
good.
Stop
Thank
by
you.
anytime.
As soon as I get a date, couple of dates, I'll be up to speak with you.
Awesome. Hey, thanks a lot, appreciate it.
Your internet is okay up here for a good
Oh,
person?
yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
We may think about if anyone who can't do it on Zoom, because there's some people who don't have internet still.
Yeah.
That, maybe I'll set up here, so anyone who wants to come in. can watch
Uh-huh,
it.
yeah, we
Yeah,
could
yeah.
have, that's
Okay.
good. We could do it
Sounds
as a hybrid.
Because there's
meeting.
some homeowners that don't have internet, and not a large percentage, but still a percentage.
Yeah.
Well, we all have that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
Thanks, Bill.
all right, well, very well.
Nice to meet
Nice to
you.
meet you all.
Hey, thank you. So, and her.
Before you head on, Noreen just joined us. Thank you,
Hi,
Noreen.
Noreen.
No, you're muted. You can stay unmuted if you like.
Hi, everyone. Sorry I'm late. I just, got the notice.
Gonna turn down the speaker. Up because of the meeting at the.
Yes,
Made it quite-
yeah, Phil, in and out of here as quick as possible.
The only thing I noticed is stalker is just T-O-C-K-E-R, my last name, that's the only thing I don't really know.
How do you normally spell
S-T-O-C-K-E-R, they spell it,
It's right,
that's
it's up here, it's correct.
it?
well, it's right there, that's
Right there.
down, it's wrong down
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
sorry.
yeah, you don't want that.
Stalker, you're a stalker.
there. Exactly.
I like that.
Spell check.
Nothing like spell check.
Okay, so, okay. I'll fix that,
Okay.
other than the misspelling of the name.
It was okay with me anyway. Yeah, I moved to approve the minutes from Monday, February 24th.
Second.
I wasn't there, so I prefer if we have a quorum.
Yeah,
Were you
do.
there, Noreen?
No, I wasn't, unfortunately.
Right, I'll vote. Never.
Well, you can abstain. Abstain is.
Yeah, I'll abstain. That's fine.
Still, yeah,
Okay.
and it still counts as a quorum even if you're.
Oh, it does, okay. All right.
Oh, so I'll make the motion that we approve it.
Eric made.
Oh, I'm
it.
sorry, I'll
Did you
second
say-
that.
He
Seconded.
seconded, he seconded. So Tracy, all in favor.
All in favor?
Dr.
Farrell abstained.
Lenny, aye.
Kinder,
Make peace on your eye.
And let Rice Bridge abstain.
Noreen?
Noreen abstain.
All right.
Okay, next on. The EMPG grant, I have gotten all the canceled checks and I submitted the reimbursement form in, so hopefully. Nate said everything's all set, so I should be seeing an email shortly on the approval, so. All right. Next thing is the Lake Wildwood Dam. emergency action plan. I got the, letter I wanted from Leverett and Montague for, updating their emergency contact list. So, that's in this. I went through, added all the names and numbers that I know of. I would like to run this whole list by the team to make sure I didn't do a mistake before sending this out. So I don't know if anybody can look at this, like when they go home some point. I did,
Did you scan it to us?
it's in,
Yes.
it's
It
in
was-
the.
it was
yeah,
attached
it's in
to
the-
the-
I saw it,
yeah.
I saw it too, I just didn't,
Oh, I
Yeah.
see it now.
so,
Sorry.
yeah, I'm happy to take a look
So
at it.
it is
Maybe
good,
if one other person does it too.
it is good for everybody to at least read, it, especially
Right.
select board members, that way you call me out saying, hey, you didn't do this, and I've said it here, you
Yeah,
know,
I take
this is it's a lot of information there, and shouldn't. More than just the dam keeper and the emergency management director should be knowing it,
Yeah.
so.
I would say that it still says, it's got the March 2025 date at the top, and at the bottom, in the footnote, it still says the old date, and I can, maybe, I only have a PDF. but
Yeah.
maybe
You can
if
just
have
change
the
the
word at
footnote,
the top.
yeah. and
Do you want
word.
me to change that on the
Yeah,
bottom?
yeah, probably, so it shows that it's updated, I noticed that too.
Yeah, so I noticed on the last ones that got submitted, and it seemed like that date didn't really change, and I almost thought that was for a reason,
No, we should.
so.
Yeah.
That's,
Just,
That's maybe put updated and then the date next to it, just so,
Yeah,
you know, it's not just down at the bottom corner. of
it's
the
a footer,
cover
it's,
page.
when you're looking.
so you want me to
at
put updated and then that number?
Footer, yeah,
Okay,
Well, at
Updated
the
and
top,
updated.
you've got 2025 at the top,
right.
and
then
that
bottom
should
had
be,
the,
should say update.
Right,
Right.
so I
And then
have 20
delete the one at the bottom, is that what we're saying?
I think the one at the bottom was the old,
I'm
I
not seeing what's on the top.
It was 2019.
It's on the
thought it
cover
said
page.
2019, yeah,
Yeah, get rid of 2019.
right, but you
So-
could put, you
Is
could
that a copy of
change
it?
the footer there.
This is the exact copy, so.
Oh, I see what you're saying, so
This
it's on every
You
page.
put, this is what I think,
You want to put updated here.
so let me actually spell out updated on it.
Yeah, and before or somewhere here,
It's on all of them.
it's on all the pages, it's a footer, so if you change the first one, the rest will magically.
They'll,
change.
they'll.
If you have a problem with it, let me know.
Yeah, that's fine with me, I'm just wondering where you saw the,
I think it's on here.
oh, before I open. Where did you see the 2025? Because the only other spot I put 2025.
Maybe it was.
That was maybe just on the front top.
I see it on the name of the file.
Yeah, no, I thought I saw
Right
it.
here?
Cover.
Is it on the name of the file?
I don't know in the name of the
That's,
file.
that's just 2025 there.
I can relook and let you know. That-
So
Take
in
care
it,
of it.
I'm gonna have to
No.
redo town administrator. Who's starting with town administrator?
Haley,
Y-L-E-Y.
Bolton, Bolton.
And do we have a phone number?
Not
Not yet.
yet,
It would be good
she
to,
doesn't start till next Monday.
Well, you can start the office number too. but
Yes,
it's emergency.
yeah.
She'll be in contact with you, I'm sure. We're gonna, I think Gabe was setting up, but she hasn't yet,
onboarded.
like a, yeah,
No, there
on
was a-
Tuesday to have a
It's
kind of
been
open
set
house.
up.
No, there was a
It
thing
has,
about,
oh,
yeah,
it's the
yes,
8th.
okay,
That's on the 8th, though. It's
that's
like
the
2
second
weeks.
day.
Oh, second time.
That's
Just a
next
week
Monday,
from-
next
you
Tuesday.
start the 7th, the thing will be the
Starts on the
8th. If you come to that and get our phone number,
Yeah.
that'd be good.
I'm at least a week behind here.
It's the 31st, so the
Maybe
fifth
it
is the fifth is
I did,
Friday.
I'm sure I got it, I just got so many emails that I can't remember.
I know.
I did see that.
I have a question for Lenny.
Yep,
Lenny, the plan seems to address mostly downstream considerations, and I realize it's about our dam. Do we have anything that addresses upstream concerns, like what's going on in Wendell and at Fisk Pond and all the small ponds above that?
so I think, what is it, the McCoy Dam? I'm supposed to
Yeah,
do a Zoom.
right, yes.
I'm supposed to do a Zoom meeting on that Wednesday.
Boy,
And they talked about it raising, let's see, I would have to look at, I forget the exact level of the raise. It wouldn't add too much in the area. I think it would add, I can't say any number on how much it's gonna add the,
More than 2 feet,
don't believe,
wouldn't be a problem.
yeah. So. Yeah, so the main concern is pretty much North Leverett Road and Rattlesnake Gutter. In Leverett, they're gonna be the ones to be with the most amount of issue. As for up,
Yes, you're saying the upstream concerns are minimal, that wouldn't it vary based on the type of storm we get? I noticed that the plan, describes different levels of potential concern.
yeah, I don't know enough about dams, honestly, to say what's good for them or what's bad for them. I would assume if they thought it was a big deal, they would have put it into the,
Yeah, because Bill Elliott, when he was doing this, both dams, the one at this pond and the one at McAvoy, he didn't think it would be enough to.
do anything to like oil.
No.
Yeah,
I think they also considered Ames too.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right, yes.
yeah. I do remember hearing, so I hate to say anything, but it almost sounded like Lakeview Road would still be drivable, basically.
Yeah, that's what.
That's what I swear I remember hearing. So don't quote me on that because, I mean, I'm gonna know better by tomorrow night about it.
Yeah, if you just raise some questions about that, it would be helpful, I think, Lenny, in your meeting.
Yeah, okay.
So do you want, if we have any changes, on the contact information, just to forward it to you?
Yeah, forward it to me.
All right,
And then I can, I'm hoping it says in the directions to submit it, it's either a paper copy or email or electronic. And there's so many people, I mean, this is gonna be like a whole box of paper. I just assume just
Just send it
electronic copy,
yeah,
and then I'm just gonna
to,
to everybody.
so because it has a confidential information like our cell phone numbers, they want to put confidential first in the subject.
So,
Because our cell phone numbers aren't publicly, published
so when I send it, I have to send it
to those groups.
and.
Just in the first word in your text, but confidential, and then, the rest of the subject.
but it's a public document, right?
It's public once we redact all
Yeah,
Oh,
we
okay.
redact that
Oh, I
information,
see.
because,
Okay, we
because it's all of our
okay.
personal cell phones.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because if emergency happens, we all need to be contacted.
right, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
the, we were gonna talk about, well, after I get this submitted,
We can make a
do
public
we
record.
could do a public copy and possibly
Right, I
just put it
see,
on the
okay.
town website. just
Yeah.
Right, right
Yeah.
below the emergency, hazard mitigation plan,
That's
Yeah.
a really good idea.
so.
Am I getting a whole new book for the new, is that it, or?
Yeah, you probably have to have a paper copy of it.
Probably should have a paper, new paper
You should have a
copy
paper copy.
and just
I was
destroy
just
it.
thinking on these,
This is almost the same, it says,
well, what I was thinking on the pages that change, those are the ones that should have update and the date on it. So that I know that I got, so you know that I have
Yes.
the
Let's
right
get you a
one.
whole new copy.
We'll get you. on
What the heck?
so the thing is, they want whole copies now submitted, not just updated sections
Right.
because of confusion.
Right.
So if I have to hand them a whole brand new copy,
But I mean, when you're down the line, there's gonna be telephone numbers changed, so you're gonna have to change a page, not the whole.
that's why I want to keep everything electronic.
Right,
So wouldn't that be just a new date on the bottom and say it's an update, so you don't have to, so you know that the person has the right page in
Right,
there?
right,
Yeah.
so by him updating.
Yes, I do, I understand that, I could print out individual pages for that. I think
Rather than print the whole thing,
Yeah.
if the rest of it's fine.
Yeah, I think that's what was done in the past, and it just says we can't do that anymore.
Yeah, we'll do the whole thing.
Well, I forget what I said.
No,
It's a good thought though, Abby.
Yeah.
I'll admit that.
Well, I
It's good
just-
to save paper.
In the military, that's the way they did it.
Yeah, right.
No, I understand that.
So please, everybody, read it and let me know what you think. Double check friends and phone numbers on that. And just email me back if I'm missing something.
Okay.
If I'm doing something silly here, just let me know.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
So the next one, anything else on the, like Wild there? The Raymond Red Moriarty Dam?
Yeah.
Lake
Viola. Yeah.
Twice, like,
Cat Lake Viola.
Yeah.
so that way you won't lose your local.
Okay. Updated, the comprehensive emergency management plan or the SEMP plan. So Nathan forwarded that to me after doing he added a few things in. And again, I would need the new town administrator in here instead of Gabe. We had, who's our superintendent of the school? Superintendent.
God, she left, the old one left, right? I don't know who that
Yeah, I don't know.
is. No, yeah, it's not Jennifer anymore. Hang on. Melissa, who go her?
Thank God, Alyssa's gonna keep us straight.
It's Union 28.
28, superintendent.
Serving superintendent is Dermo Shannon White Cleveland,
How do I spell it?
SHANNON. And her last name is White, WHITE hyphen CLEVELAND.
CLE.
VELAND, like the town,
The city.
White Cleveland.
White.
And I'm just wondering why we don't have the, right far here, the, Shutesbury principal, so.
Well, the superintendent, if there's an emergency would be, well, yes, but we could have Ian in there too.
Yeah. It seems like, we're gonna do anything in the school, Ian should be the one first contacted.
Yeah, but the superintendent may need to give permission as well.
So should we add those?
I think both would be
Yeah.
applicable.
Yeah, I'm just kind of going back, this is what they originally had.
Yeah.
And we also have a typo for David Grenier, Director of Public Health. So.
Let him know, he's the director. Okay.
She's been promoted.
So do you want Anne's name too? Well, I have her.
I have her name.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so. And I'm going through it.
So what do you need from us on this, on the emergency management plan?
I think I have to submit it to you guys and you don't have to approve it.
Okay.
Yeah, we probably should read through it.
Yeah.
I know.
At least the
that's-
first 85
How,
pages.
how soon? I mean, should we put it on the agenda for next week or?
No, I'm thinking maybe next emergency management meeting. Is that
Oh.
appropriate?
I guess.
Yeah, we don't have to work individually on that until it's submitted to us. So we
Yeah.
would vote to approve it at that point after this team has looked at it.
Or-
Right, I was gonna say, but we wouldn't do it at this meeting necessarily. We would do it at a select board meeting, because Lenny was saying we could do it at this meeting, but I think it makes more sense.
Yeah, we would have to do it, if we're acting as a select board, we have to do it at a
Yeah.
select board meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could recommend it to us in this meeting and then we could take it to them.
Right,
Yeah.
but.
Well, I'm
but it should-
recommending you guys look at it.
Right,
and
we'll do
get back to me.
Yeah.
One thing that's
We'll look
missing,
at
one thing that's missing, what I was hoping it would have got, was gonna have, if he had checklist for an emergency shelter at the school. And I talked to Nate about it, and they're kind of working on a generic one
it.
for,
We might have
I guess I could email her.
Yeah.
class,
I could ask.
so you don't have to reinvent the wheel if we've already got something to work from.
Totally, I would prefer having something from Nina.
No,
That
have
way
them
we-
look at it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying maybe they already have something that has been created over the years that as a starting point. And then
Yeah.
have them look
I
at it.
have yet to see anything really existing from former. Over the years, so there's certain things, there's certain steps that have to be done that. We may or may not think of it at the time of need, so that's kind of why I'd like to get a generic one from NEMA that's already legal. And gone through, So that's missing, and we could also add it in after when they get me one, or the school can get me one, but.
You know, the superintendent might have one from another school that they use. Because a school in every community is really their shelter.
Yeah,
The
Yeah,
biggest
good
building
point.
with the biggest rooms
yeah,
there, right?
Lever has a checklist.
Although I remember Mark had something he referenced many times, don't remember the name, but he referenced one room would be set up to hold pets, if anyone brought their pets. So there's something somewhere he was referencing.
And it wasn't as well as, it wasn't a well done up document.
I'm not saying that, he was just referencing something
Yeah.
that there had been a plan.
Yeah.
Plan in.
Because we would need the police present, we would need a nurse present. So it's things like that that really should have to be put down beforehand. So. Anyways, please look it over,
Mhm.
and if,
Send you any comments or,
yes, any
Okay.
comments?
got a lot of reading to do.
Yeah, really.
Especially if you can't open it.
No, yeah, so here's the trick, so Lenny sent it out like we do at work, he sent out the email that Nathan. So if you open the email attachment, further down, there's a Word doc.
Yeah, maybe it was that long as it was.
No, this was for, I think this meeting.
Just came, yeah, when you.
Okay.
Just, yes,
Yeah.
so
I can't
it's,
open that.
Mine, I have a
You're
Word
sitting,
document.
yeah, you're
You
sitting.
got it open, right?
Yeah, it's a Word
Yeah.
document there.
Yep.
Sure don't. Wow.
Yeah,
well, here, I'll do this. I'll fix.
no, Eric has to leave, so,
Yes.
we'll get.
Well,
Leslie- we'll get Leslie's-
Noreen can't leave now, she's number.
No,
six.
now she's number 6.
Okay,
Um,
well, I
You
don't
can
have,
take a nap in the chair if you want.
I don't have any
Here.
more on the Senate plan
Yeah,
for you guys, other
forget
than
it.
please review it
Yep.
and send me what you want added in.
Okay,
And I can quickly go over the house numbers, just because I know this is more of a Kristen thing, so I don't really
did
have.
she send something? Did she
She,
give us something?
she has a list that she'll send out at some short.
Oh, they
everybody-
were working on a list and they had some addresses in question, I think they were gonna.
I think she's got that done, what you said, I
Oh,
saw
maybe
something
just-
that said she was gonna send, I thought.
So I went to the association, I asked about the town using the hardware to install the signs. And they pretty much want to be reimbursed at cost. So pretty much cost is $12 for the actual sign. And basically $9 for the post. So we're at $21 in materials. So the association was charging $30 for an install. So that's pretty much where we're at on that.
Do they have to be on a post? Could they be on the house itself?
Kristen wanted them all the same at the end of the driveway.
So,
Cause I'm telling you, on the lake, we're 40-foot lots, it'll look like a fence line.
I know this is code states you need your numbers on your house.
Yeah.
So this was done 20 years ago when the fire association started the program with the house numbering, putting the number at the end of the driveway. It is easier driving down the road. Oh, we're at 183, 185, oh, the next one's gonna be 187. It does make it easier, we also use, we use the maps and the address as well. Nothing's foolproof, sometimes the signs fall down, but if you're missing your sign, your actual neighbor kind of helped us find your house if your sign fell off. Well, yeah, I don't know how to go about for the lake, with all those folks, I don't know, so.
are there mailboxes down there? But they put up.
No, they won't be.
Yeah, there are.
Lots gone.
I've never really
The
looked.
numbers on the mailboxes
know
are
that.
good, but this was done in additional.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
When
and
we
we saw,
saw-
you.
Mailboxes
Yeah.
are probably not
When
lined
the
up.
sign looks the same
Yeah. Good job.
versus like everybody's mailbox is a little different, where's the mailbox?
And a lot of-
yeah.
It does make a difference with those.
Mine's on a tree only because I had a snowbank that
Yeah.
would bury the sign.
Yeah,
So I was given permission to put it on
Yeah.
the tree.
when you're looking for a post with a sign on it, it's easier than knowing if it's on the tree, for example.
Well, this jumps out, it's
Yeah.
about the same eye line, it's just further back.
Maybe we could think about the lake,
Yeah.
like how to deal with that.
So, yeah, sorry. Yeah, Tom.
Yeah, no worries. Is this in reference to the 1993 House Member bylaw for the town? Or is that the governing?
I think that's the-
It was the house
regulation?
numbers,
Should be
they had
Mass
to be,
General
that's
law.
when we got 950.
That's when we
I
renumbered.
could, but it would be lengthy, but,
Tom, that's when we got 911 was 1993.
Yeah. but we
okay.
haven't
But I
changed
just,
the
if it hasn't
No, we
changed, then
haven't.
may
I'm
I?
just saying that, we're coincided with that.
You wanna read it? Let me go see.
Well, I mean, it's available online, it would be a lengthy read, but it indicates, rules already about it being on a house, if that's visible, if that isn't visible and whatnot. I just wondered if anyone had gone to that wording yet and seen whether, it sounds as though it doesn't have to be a post at the end of the driveway, in other words.
Like, this is something different, right?
I just wasn't sure if this was the,
That is the
is
bylaw.
this the
not
governing
house
Yeah,
text
we have-
That's
for
not
this discussion?
So we have a
This is
bylaw
initiative.
that says you're supposed to have your, and what's the penalty if you don't?
It's all really unenforceable.
Delayed emergency response.
Pretty much just a delayed response, that's
Right,
kind of the.
right.
That's
Oh, I was
true.
just thinking, I don't have my house number, I have it at the end of my driveway on a tree. I have my
Yeah.
house number.
Probably for the
Shall I
same
read
reason
it,
as
or-
snowing.
Well,
Well, your shoes are pretty
say
easily,
if there's a penalty.
and so did the
The
neighbors
penalty,
down the
it
road.
just says enforcement. It
I mean,
doesn't say-
well, I
Yeah.
looked at it,
Yeah.
so I know where it is, and so was the next one down.
It's just the intent, the display requirements, the enforcement and the assignment of the street number in the
So
first
what are
place.
the display requirements?
Every house and place of business shall be adequately labeled with its official house number. It is the intent of this article. Common sense in the placement of clear, easy to read house numbers. If the structure is easily visible and accessible from the street during 12 months of the year, the number would ideally be placed on the structure. If by placing the number on the structure, the number is not easily read by emergency service responders approaching from either direction on the street during all 12 months of the year, then the number should be placed on a stake at the edge of the driveway leading to the house. The location of members on a mailbox will suffice if the mailbox is labeled on both sides and is located at the driveway and there is no confusion about location of the driveway. In the case of shared driveways, property owners should adequately label all building numbers at the entrance to the driveway, and additional markings should be posted at appropriate junctions in the driveway to alleviate any questions in the mind of emergency service personnel.
So this initiative is just a voluntary thing. to
Right,
try
this
and
is voluntary,
Yeah.
but that is
Yeah.
the town bylaw.
Yeah.
Okay, never knew, never knew.
Where my brother lives in Maine, everyone has a lighted number on their house in red.
Wow,
It's about this big, but it's lit
Wow.
by the door, that you can, otherwise.
they pay for it, the town pays for it.
It will attach to your house. I don't know what they paid for. I didn't ask.
You just gotta like, well, all of that place is be bright.
They're red, so they're not, so it's not as bright because it's red, it's not
Uh-huh.
white.
Yeah.
It's easier seen at night, I guess, and not so obtrusive.
So what do we have to decide about it now?
Anything?
I just
Do you
wanted to,
wanna offer?
I just wanted to bring up the association basically wants $21 for.
Okay,
I
So
would
we
just
just
say
say-
that they can buy posts for $9 and those prices went way up.
The problem is there's all sorts of different posts
Yeah.
too, so you can get the $5 ones that are really made really chintzy. And I've seen them up to $35 a post.
so were we gonna offer to, is there a way for us, for people who couldn't afford the $21 to pay for it?
They were talking about that.
I think
Yeah,
that's
we
what
talked
Kristen,
about it.
Kristen had said something about maybe finding a way to.
We should get back with
cost
her.
and then- Yeah.
I have a comment about that. I don't think anyone has come and mentioned to the Lake Whale Association at all that I can recall about these signs and why it's important to have them. And I think, Lenny, if you might want to come to one of the meetings, I think there may be quite a few people at the association would be willing to purchase them and put them up if they, know how important they are and why we're doing it. So that might be worth the effort. You might get 50 or more households doing it.
So do you want me to try to reach out to Mark Rivers to get on, like Whale Association agenda?
Yeah, it would be George Abdo. There's a meeting in June. I think it's the second Saturday in June, isn't it, Howard? It's always the second. I think it's the second Saturday in June, and George Abdo's the president. He sets up the agenda. So yeah, if you come and talk to the association, I bet you anything that people are willing to buy those signs and, and help out a little bit and narrow that number of people in town that don't have them.
Although some of the numbers that are down there are not correct,
Oh,
because the association president years ago went around numbering houses.
I-
A lot of them never took those old ones down, so I don't know which ones have the old ones.
They can,
Unless it's a green
That's your
sign.
job.
Yeah, you gotta figure that out.
Well,
we
And
have,
then if I make a mistake, everybody knows.
I think Kristen was gonna get that too, and Jim.
You should
we
check.
have.
Yeah, I think we should see what the Kristen's
Kristen.
list is, 'cause
Yeah.
her list, I
Yeah.
think, is pretty good from what she showed us or
Yeah.
talked about.
Yeah.
Houses that have them not by the-
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. I'll reach out to George and
Yeah, yeah.
talk about, yeah.
Good,
Yeah,
thank
two-
you.
Little thing about the Firewise thing too.
Yep.
May I
Leslie
just,
have them.
just add that from years ago, I remember that they used a standard heavy-duty post, so they wouldn't be falling over, not the
Right.
cheaper ones.
Yeah,
And the positioning, like the ones on trees, you can't see. And
Yeah.
so there's that standard. There's, and on the sides of shared driveways, the lower one came first, coming out of town, the other
Yeah.
one on the other side. There's lots of
yeah,
technicalities that you'd like to know about. I'm just saying, to have volunteers installing the signs.
having the wrong side up is worse than no sign at all.
Right, but
So-
to the degree that if volunteers are doing this outside of Kristen's force, who probably knows it, then, there might be some standards given to people who are gonna put their own signs in, and the reasons for it.
I guess.
Yeah. Later, bye,
Thanks, Karen.
Good seeing you.
You get
Thanks
to
for showing up, Maureen, you're saving. my
Yeah,
day.
thank you, Eric.
save your dinner. All right.
Only 3 minutes behind.
I don't know, you're doing pretty good. You're getting most, we get most. of the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, I'll try to reach out with George. I'll talk to Kristen about it and, we'll obviously talk about it for next meeting.
Yeah, leave it on the agenda for next meeting.
Lenny,
So-
just one other suggestion. When you reach out to George, he can reach out to all the members of the association, not just the ones that show up for the meeting. So he could send out a blurb as to why this is a good thing to participate in and how much it costs and how to pick them up, that kind of thing, if you
Yeah.
inform him.
Yeah.
And that can be done before June, before you even go to a meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yep.
Do an email.
Yeah, just do an
Yeah.
email and say, these
Yeah,
are
just send that to
available,
them.
it's a
Yeah.
safety,
Yep.
measure. And it's only $21, and if you can't afford it, maybe please.
So,
That's someone
notify
else.
somebody.
yeah, so
Call
it's,
Melissa.
well, hold
Call
on,
me.
it's $30 to install it through the association.
Okay.
If the town is gonna use the roads materials, the association's gonna want $21.
Okay, $21 or $30 through the association.
Yeah,
Which association?
firefighters
Fire.
association. So. And then, so for $21, well, we'll have to get people together to put them up.
I think we can find some.
I thought, because I read in the minutes, because I wasn't at the meeting, that Kristen was going to arrange for the police department.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if that's.
Yeah, if it becomes overwhelming,
Yeah,
if it becomes overwhelming, or if we just wanna do it all one day. Sign drop. That's also why mine's on the tree.
okay, yeah,
Is there a donation account for that?
yeah, the association has a bank account for donations, or like Sarah Pancake Breakfast, the month, checks made out to the firefighters.
And you can make
Association.
a donation for a specific thing.
Yeah, I'm wondering if other,
Oh, you mean
Groups
like
might
the
be
house,
encouraged.
house numbers, you mean to pay, to cover?
yeah, if like a group was
Cost of house.
asked to encourage their
Right.
members to do it, maybe the group could even consider
You just have,
Ways
it
of putting-
says for.
donating money perhaps, I don't know.
Track it differently for that.
They double.
I don't mean to extend the conversation.
They breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all hungry.
Really, yeah, I can show you.
All right, yeah. You want to stop by the station sometime there?
Yeah, let me look at this week.
Okay.
Your spare time, Melissa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am more towards the end of the week than
Yeah.
the first
What
week.
days up front to do?
Show them how to do the log if anyone donates from, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
doesn't mean for that.
No. That's a slide note.
Yeah, I think we're good on house numbers for now.
Yeah.
Any other concerns from any of the other boards? Concerns, reports?
Yeah, I have just one. I don't know how many of you know, maybe you do, that we issue permits for any sort of dealings with beavers. And so we have beavers under our purview. And I know how you know this well, but the beavers tend to like to stop up the passage under the bridge near Shore Drive. And they're at it again, and we could use some help from the highway department, having that cleared out on a regular basis.
They're supposed to clear it up.
I know that, Howie.
Board of Health has told them they're supposed to keep it clean.
Do you want me to go talk to Dave tomorrow?
That would be great. Thank you. I would appreciate that.
Where is it again? On Shore Drive?
It's the
It-
corporate.
There's a little bridge. If you're going from Shore to Wendell Road, there's a little bridge that goes over the
Or are you talking
think
about
it's
something
called
different than I
Plimpton.
am?
Wait.
I think Noreen's talking about something slightly different than we are.
no, it's the
Shore
one that comes
Drive.
in from Fiskbrook, the big one that comes
No.
in from Fiskbrook.
At the big code.
Yeah, the cove. Yeah, that comes into the cove.
Yeah.
That one.
They've been very busy this winter.
Yes, they have, and they're busy every single
Is the
week.
that culvert's not getting stopped up, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, currently.
Yes,
I
it
think
is.
The
Right now,
water is
it's-
higher on the Fishbrook side than the lake.
It's not too bad right now because this last heavy rainstorm took part of it out.
Yeah.
But there's still the mound that's gotta come out.
Yeah.
And
Can they even
I
get a,
received something, some meeting that's coming up the 8th of April to talk about beaver dams.
With the Concom and
Is it on
Concom?
Because,
Not on our
sounds
agenda.
like beaver.
the town administrator, because I went and talked to her over a month ago
Oh,
about it.
hang on.
It's unfortunate that they didn't do it earlier, because I had the lake down 2 feet, and it's much easier.
Well, and trapping season
Now it's up
actually, and
with the water's high on both sides.
Sounds like beaver deceivers are in the future.
No, not there,
Okay.
because,
Yeah.
they're bringing their, canoe seeds out of it, that's how they get into the lake.
Yeah.
And if you had a beaver, how are they gonna get in?
we haven't finalized our
They can't
agenda.
just
I don't know if it's on ours.
2 foot high beaver dam? No? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this is more of when we need paper to just.
The dam was
Yeah,
probably about that high and maybe
Yeah.
this much water coming over it.
beavers are
And
common,
then it drops right down.
yeah,
Beaver
Beavers are
season
totally-
stops tomorrow.
yeah, beavers are totally controversial. I don't know the answer on them.
Well,
I think
we've
even
trapped
if
them
you're-
in the.
I think even if you remove them, what's stopping another family?
Oh, there's not.
You know,
You can discourage them.
yeah,
You can just, yeah, if you keep,
If you
eventually.
keep, because I used to go there every day and pull out what they put in the night before.
yeah.
And after a while, they just,
They give up.
this isn't working.
Can't the town get a dog and just have it
Yeah.
like? in an
Oh,
area
wait, that's an
like that?
idea, a coyote decoy.
Yeah,
That could work.
Yeah.
It has worked in other places.
Yes, I do not know enough about beavers and how to deal with them to be beneficial to this. I know it is controversial how to get rid of them.
well, you can take them out emergency wise and out of season, this season is over now. It's over 1st of April.
Yeah.
Pretty tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's,
The regular trapping.
April is the trapping season.
Now you have to get one of those professionals that's authorized by the state, has to take a special course, and he can come out anytime.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
costs you.
Okay, so yes, I will talk to Dave tomorrow, and we're talking about the culvert on Lakeview Road, right next to the A-frame house.
Yeah,
Would you, circle back with Gabe too, since Howie spoke with her? I think it would be good for you to know, was there any communication with Dave around the voters? Since you brought it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at that time, we came for a meeting, and she took me upstairs, and
Yeah.
I told her about, unfortunately, I didn't tell her about 1 April, because I thought it would be done,
Yeah, okay.
but it's.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there was another thing too, there was a, log raft upstream. And it was made out of logs, probably about 10 inches across and 10 foot long. We've been up there for years, somebody at the camp up there above made it, well, it broke loose and it came down and ended up at the beaver dam. But over time, it came apart. And 3 of the, or actually all 4 of the logs went through, and one of them is crossways inside of the.
Yeah.
The culvert, I don't know if it's out now, in the town they're looking at, I believe, the other side.
I get my kayak all two door.
Yeah, that's what I told, at the association, that's what I tell them, that anybody with a kayak going through, do 1 of 2 things, either call me and let me know, or just grab a piece of that,
And pull it up.
and
Yeah.
go through there.
Okay, any other concerns?
I don't think there was any select board things,
Yeah.
no, not emergency related.
So next meeting, we'll try to do something at the end of
And there's people?
April, April 28th. It's a Monday.
Yeah, that works, I'll put it on there.
At 5:30.
Here.
I'm gonna try to do better with the Zoom. I don't know how to do this yet, so
Did Gabe set you up for an account with Zoom or no?
I guess I got an email with a passcode in it. I don't know how to do any of it
When I
yet, so,
pop down and show you how to do it on yours,
yep,
which will easily, even though it looks complicated, it's not, if you're doing it right to a computer, it's not so complicated.
okay. Okay, yeah, that would be good, so I don't have to be reliant on you. You know, because I'm afraid of posting it virtual and then not being able to do it, and the meeting will get canceled, so.
I understand that concern.
Yeah.
We'll figure out how to get you to get a link set up.
Yeah.
And then, I'll show you how to make a co-host, so if you're not able to open it, someone else can.
Yeah,
Thanks, Melissa.
yeah, I'll text you a few things we talked about, so we don't forget.
Yeah, and I'll look at my schedule
Yeah.
tomorrow, Wednesday, I can't, but Thursday, maybe after, a site visit.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
awesome, okay. During the meeting,
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second that,
Lenny,
Carol, aye.
thank you for the alive.
Grace for time.
Noreen, I.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Noreen.
Noreen.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you always for everything.